Hi guys. This video is just basically gonna go over Jamovi, a little bit about the results section, making the figures, just basically answering a lot of the questions that you guys had in class, because I know a lot of people kind of struggled with it. No problem. That's what this video is supposed to help with. So first let me share my screen so we can just go from the very beginning. Okay, so first we're gonna go on the Canvas page, the Psych 70 Canvas page. We're gonna go here to modules, and then we're gonna go down to the week 3 discussion section. And here, I know it's a lot of information, but we're gonna break it down. Here, the first thing is your slides. We're kind of gonna go over the slides as well. Not as much as we did in class, but just to reference it so you guys know, because a lot of the information that I'm gonna say in this video is gonna be on the slides. And then we have the data files to use to run the analysis in Jamovi. Basically, the analysis that we're running is the data that we got from the class experiment. What we're going to work on in this video right now is the practice data, which is fake data. It's not real. But when you're using your paper, you're going to do the exact same thing, but with the class data. So for this video, we're going to be working on the practice data CSV, but for your research paper, you're going to repeat the analyses on Jamovi with the class data. And it's super important to reiterate this because you will lose points if you use the practice data. So you want to make sure you're using the right one. Another thing is that a problem that we were having in class is that if the data file says unauthorized, try using something other than Safari. I don't know why Safari is just weird about it, but try using Chrome, Firefox, all that. And then we are going to go over how to make a figure. And these are the Google Sheets that are just the Sheets file of like the CSV. But we'll go over when we use that. So first we have to install Jamovi, right? So basically Jamovi is just a statistical analysis tool that we're going to use to help report our results. So we have two options to use Jamovi. We can either install it to our computer or we can use the cloud. We recommend using the cloud. Just let me clear up my thing right here. We recommend using to install Jamovi on your computer. Just because with the cloud version, it's if there's too many people on the cloud, it won't work, or it won't let you go on it. And also after I think 40 minutes, it will unsave if you're not constantly saving, it won't save it for you. So if you're able to install Jamovi on the computer, but if you're not able to for any reason, the cloud is another resource you can use. So let me just open up the cloud. All you do is press start and it's going, I'll sign out. What it will show is like this page. You're just gonna press get started, sign in as guest, and then sign in with your email. I used my UCSD email, and then it should let you go. Yeah, but for right now, I'm going to show you based on the computer version, but it is the exact same process. But the thing for cloud, you just have to resave it. So to download Jamovi, you're going to press Jamovi desktop, right? Because the cloud was the one that we use on our browser. You're going to download the solid version. The current version, I believe it just has a few more bugs than the solid version, so just download the solid version. And after you download that, let's go to the slides. And remember, we're using the practice CSV file. We're not using the class data. You're gonna have to repeat all these steps with the class data. And also, when you want to download the practice data set, you want to just press the download button. You don't want to see, because it says over here, practice data CSV, you don't want to press the file and then download it because it will download it into, oh, well, it didn't do it that time. But what people were having problems with was it was downloading it into like an HTML file or an Excel file, and that's not what we want. So let's go. So, my goodness. So let me open up Jamovi. Jamovi. Hold on. Oh, it's right here. Oops. So let's open up Jamovi. And a lot of people were having trouble opening up Jamovi even after they even downloaded it. Sometimes it's finicky. If it's not opening up for you or if it keeps bouncing, just double tap it and then press open. And if that doesn't work, go down here to where it's on your, whatever that thing is called, and double tap it and press quit and then try opening it while you double tap it. I know, it is tedious, but that's just how it is sometimes. But here, let's go back to the slides. So the first thing, and this is after we downloaded the file. So if you didn't download the file, make sure you download it. But what we're going to do is open our data file in Jamovi. So what we're going to do is we're going to press these 3 lines on the top left-hand corner. And then we're going to press open. We're going to press this PC. And we're going to go up here to browse. So you can see that I already have it here, but this is the Jamovi file. So we want to make sure we're using the CSV file. So press browse and then go to downloads and see, I have the practice dataset CSV. So if it's not working for you, just if you have to, try uninstalling it and installing it again. It's just and also when you're first installing it for the first time, it's going to give you about 2 or 3 alerts saying, are you sure you want to open this? Are you sure you want to download it? Just keep saying yes. Don't be scared. That's just how it is. So here we have our fake data and we have the participants, the age, gender, English fluency, and then the 2 conditions. So a lot of people were asking, oh, when are we going to get the information about like the demographics, like the average age, how many participants there was? This is where we're going to get the information. So we already opened the data file in Jamovi. And what we need to do is we need to change the measure type for the different names that we have. So how we do that is we're going to go on data up here right next to analyses, and then we're going to press setup, right? So the only thing that you're going to change here is the measure type. You don't need to change the name. The name is everything. Don't need to change the data type, just the measure type, right? So let's see what it says on the chart here. And these slides you have access to on Canvas. So for participant ID, the measure type is going to be ID because that's just how we're identifying the participant. It's not by their names, but by their participation number. Next is age. It's going to be continuous. And then for gender, English fluent and English native are all going to be nominal, right? Nominal, it's already there, nominal. And then for ELAB, it's okay if it says ELAB in code, no worries. You don't have to change it, but we do need to change the measure type to continuous. And then for retype, it's going to be continuous as well. So just making sure from the slides, you don't have to add any description. This is just to explain what each part is for. So now that we have that, what's it called? So basically, the next slide is just basically talking about the structure of the data file, where it's basically all you need to know about this is that every row is a different variable, or excuse me, every column is a different variable and every row is a different participant. So for example, this participant 1, we have like all these different variables for them, male, all that type of stuff. You get it. Okay. So now we are going to compute the demographic summary. So how we do this is we're just going to go to analyses right next to data, press exploration, and then the first option, descriptives, right? So you're gonna have this table with a bunch of different things already set for you, but we're going to change up a few things. Also, if this shows up like this, all you need to do is just press the statistics to like open up all these options. So this image that you see, it's basically this is the image that you're kind of basically going to reference. And we're going to reference it in this video right now. So as we can see, for this box, all the different aspects are in here. We need to move some stuff to the variables. So what it says to move to the variables is age, gender, English fluent, and English native. So what we can do is we press age and then we press the arrow and then it goes to variables and see it already started like analyzing some stuff. Or you can just you can hold it and then drag it to the variables. Either or works. So here we have now participant ID, elab, and code and retype on this side, and variables, age, gender, English fluent, and English native on the side. And what we need to do is we need to deselect some things and select a few things. So the first thing we need to do is press frequency tables. And this part stays the same, variables across columns, but we need to deselect for sample size. The only thing that needs to be selected is N. For dispersion, only thing needed selected is standard deviation. And for central tendency, the only thing that needs to be selected is mean. So, and everything else, that's like all these numbers, all these things you don't mess with. It's just going to be the same. So here it gave us a nice table. And here it's giving us like the mean of the age, standard deviation, and all that type of stuff. So when we report this demographic data, we're going to be reporting it to the participant section of the methods and not in the results. So this includes the total number of participants, which if we go back to data, we can like already see 60, but I think it deleted. Oh, yeah, it did. Let me just do this real quick. But all this type of stuff is going to be in your methods section. And this also includes the age in years, which is also including mean and standard deviation out to 1 decimal place, the gender frequency, and the number or proportion of participants who are native English speakers and fluent English speakers. And this can all be found in this section. Oh, I did it twice for me. Perfect. But next we're going to be running and reporting our statistics. So this is the part where it's a little bit different. We're going to be running the statistical analysis where we would some people do it by hand, but here we have a nice application to do it for us. So what we're going to do is the test that we're going to use is a two-tailed paired sample t-test. So how we're going to report this data, let me just show real quick. So basically what this is basically telling us is that we have two means and we have to figure out how they're different from each other. So how we report it is the X is going to be the degrees of freedom, the A is going to be the value of the T statistic, and the B is going to be the p-value of the test. The p-value is basically the probability that the null hypothesis is true. So it means the lower the value, the more likely that there is an actual effect. And we're going to be comparing this to the alpha value. So how do we do this in Jamovi? So what we're going to do is we're going to run a paired sample t-test. So basically we're already on analysis. We're going to press t-test because we're doing t-tests, and then paired sample t-test should be the second option. And here again, we have this little chart, but we have a handy photo to help us. So the only thing that's going to be moved is the paired variables, elab encode, and retype. So here we move it. Again, just press it and then press the arrow, or you can drag it as well. And then we need to change some things that are selected or not selected. So make sure for test students is selected. For the hypothesis, measure 1 does not equal measure 2 is selected. For the missing values, the exclude cases analysis by analysis. And for any additional statistics, we need to make sure that we have effect size and descriptives clicked. You don't need to change anything for the numbers or whatever. It's all there for you. So here it gave us an analysis. So it gave us our degrees of freedom, our statistic, our p-value, and our effect size. So if we go here, you're going to have to put all that information into this equation. So we have like Tx, X is the degrees of freedom, so it's going to be T 59 is equal to A is the value of the T statistic, so 9.09. And then P is equal to B, which is 0.001. So for a little bit of background of what these tests are doing, the paired sample t-test is basically asking, is there a difference between conditions? So for each participant, the difference in reaction time between conditions is calculated. And the t-test is basically asking, is the mean of the difference score significantly different from 0? So, and then the next thing that we're seeing is the effect size. So the effect size is saying, how big of a difference are we seeing? So that's where Cohen's D comes in. So Cohen's D asks, how many standard deviations different are the two means? And this is a guideline. So basically, if the Cohen's D is 0.2, it's a small or weak relationship, 0.5, medium, and then 8 and bigger is a large or strong relationship. So for the t-test output, at least in this case, it's going to be T is equal to 59. So remember Tx is T degrees of freedom. So T 59 is equal to T value 9.09. And then P is less than 0.001. And your Cohen's D, or the effect size, is going to be used in comparison to your p-value. So the alpha that we're going to be using is 0.05. So you compare the alpha to the p-value. So if it's way less than 0.05, it means that it's significant. So as we can see, 0.05 is way bigger than 0.01, 0.001. So that means it's a pretty significant relationship. And then here it will have the mean, median, standard deviation, and standard error for the reaction time in each condition. And this is something that you're going to have to incorporate into your results section. So I don't think anyone had any problems with this, but I'll just go over it real quick. What you want to do when you're reporting your results in your results section is that you don't want to just state your results and just say, oh, I got this, this, and this. You want to like put them in relationship with each other. So for example, the number of correct responses was higher in the elaborative encoding condition than the retype condition. You see how we're putting them into relationship with each other instead of saying the mean of the elaborative encoding was this 5.1 and the standard deviation was 22. 0.2 and the mean of the retype condition was 2.2. That's just simply listing out the results. But what we want is we want to put them in relationship with each other. So next we're going to go over structuring the results section and making a figure. So when we structure results section, first we want the question that we're asking and the test that we used. So we want to remind the reader of the question you're trying to answer and name the specific test you will use and name your alpha level. As we said, the alpha is going to be 0.05. Then report the results. Reporting, as we just said, reporting the results of it, putting them into relationship with each other, report the means and standard deviation for each condition, all that. Formatting the figure. So we're done with Jamovi, thank God. We're going to go to a different application. It's just a web thing. So basically we're going to press this link and it wasn't working for the past 2 days. I think it's because everyone was on it. But what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the week 3 discussion section. And we're going over here where it says the Google Sheets version, we're going to press the practice data and we're going to copy just the ELAB encode and the retype. And that is what we are going to paste for our data. So if we wait a little bit, it gives us this nice little graph. But we're not done yet because we need to report mean and all that type of stuff. So first we're going to press options, press select. The first thing we're going to do is press stats and analyses aesthetic. We're going to press show mean and then show confidence interval. Don't change anything, should be 95. And then that's all you do here. And then for the text plots and text and size plot, we're going to, in the measure label, we're just going to write number of correct answers. Do it nice. And then for grouping label, that's our x-axis, x-axis. Our measure label is the x-axis. The grouping label is our y-axis. So we're going to write condition. And then for the individual group labels, we're going to make it all nice and say elaborative encoding and then retype. Just right after the other, and it will show up. And here for data point, next we're going to go to data point visibility. This is where you can change the size of the dots if you want to make them huge, just smaller. We can add a little bit jitter to them, but no more than 30% jitter is what's required. So don't go over 30%. I'm gonna do mine like 12, whatever. I can make that and I think I can change the color, but I really don't know how to right now. And yeah, it should look something like this. And this is what you are going to put in your figures in your paper. You're going to just download this, download graph as a PDF, and then you just put that in your essay at the end. But yeah, that is literally all. Let me stop sharing. Let me stop sharing real quick. Okay. So that was it for the Jamovi process. It is a lot of information, but just use this video as a resource and email me or any of the TAs. Our things are all in the syllabus. And don't worry, it's okay. I had trouble with Jamovi as well when I was in this class. But all you need to do is just a little bit of practice early before your paper is due. And you'll be fine. Trust me, you will be fine. Oh, and I had another question. You aren't going to be downloading the PDF version of what Jamovi gives you and then putting that in your paper. The only figure that you're going to be putting is the figure that we just made, the scatter plot, or the jitter plot. I don't know what it's called, but what you're using for Jamovi, you're going to express it in your writing. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. Email me if you have any questions and yeah, bye.